everyone, and welcome back to the channel for a news story that literally made me spit my coffee on my poor laptop. Yes, don't worry, it still works. This is one of the stupidest things that I've read in a while, and that is a new bill in California that would require background checks for gun barrels, but also while not requiring serial numbers, so it's proposed as a way to stop crime, but then leaves no method of enforcement or so-called tracking on these barrels to make sure people are actually following the law and not just getting them from out of state. The bill has literally no purpose. And no, I am not making this video to give them any ideas on how to fix their crappy legislation. I needed to point out the absurdity of it all. And now don't get me wrong. None of these gun control bills ever really have a true and accurate purpose, but usually I can at least understand the logic behind them or how the conclusions were reached, even if they are ignorant, inaccurate, or just plain uninformed. But this one, I don't know, guys. I got nothing. Though, in light of the Vanderstock ruling, well, let me just tell you about this bill. So this here is Bill SB 704, introduced by California State Senator Arreguín, I think is how you say his name. It looks like the bill was originally about ammo sales and then was amended to be about gun barrels instead. As the bill points out, a barrel could be considered a precursor part and therefore is somehow totally the same thing as an ammo sale, though their definition technically leaves the door open to also regulate pipes. But before we get into the actual definition of barrel, since I literally spit my coffee out reading this earlier, this video is brought to you with the help of Blackout Coffee Company. Blackout Coffee is my go-to Second Amendment friendly coffee roaster that has all kinds of great smooth flavors that get me going every morning and sometimes again in the afternoon. I'm a toddler mom, just being real. They also have dedicated partner roasts that donate directly to some of your favorite gun rights groups like the Second Amendment Foundation, FPC, and GOA, so you can know that your money is not only going to a good product, but a good cause. So to get your morning grind and a cup of coffee, tea, or hot chocolate that you can be proud of, go to blackoutcoffee.com/LibertyDoll, and if it is your first time, you can use code LibertyDoll for a one-time 20% discount. So according to this bill, the term firearm barrel means the tube, usually metal and cylindrical, through which a projectile or shot charge is fired. A firearm barrel includes a firearm barrel that has reached a stage in manufacture where it may be readily completed, assembled, or converted to be used as a firearm barrel, or that is marketed or sold to the public to become or be used as a firearm barrel once completed, assembled, or converted. A firearm barrel may have a rifled or smooth bore. So they're including metal tubes that could possibly someday maybe become a firearm barrel if it's got some kind of work done to it, which technically, like I said, could include pipes. And what does this bill propose to do with this new definition? Well, let's check it out. A. Commencing July 1st, 2026, a firearm barrel as defined in section 16525 shall not be sold or transferred unless that transaction is completed in person by a firearms dealer licensed to pursuant sections 26,700 to 26,915 inclusive, and the licensed firearms dealer has conducted a background check to determine that the person is authorized to purchase a firearm, ammunition, and firearm barrel in a manner prescribed by the department. B. The licensed firearms dealer shall legibly record all the following on a form to be prescribed by the Department of Justice pertaining to the sale or transfer of the firearm barrel. 1. The date of the sale or transfer. 2. The purchaser's or transferee's driver's license or other identification number in the state in which it was issued. 3. The make, model, and caliber of the firearm that the firearm barrel is designed for or used in. I'm sorry, I can't even get through that one with a straight face. The purchaser's or transferee's full name, the name of the salesperson who processed the sale or transfer, the purchaser's or transferee's full residential address and telephone number, the purchaser's or transferee's date of birth. Next thing you know, there's going to be special barrel licenses. Now, again, no, they are looking for the make, model, caliber, and identifying information of a non-serialized gun part. Now, I know that some manufacturers out there, like Glock, for example, will stamp the serial number of the original firearm on the barrel so that you can know that all your parts match and blah, 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 blah. But it's not a federal requirement to have a serial number on the barrel, and not all gun barrels will have serial numbers. It would also require FFLs to submit these barrel sale records to the state, because otherwise someone could buy a gun barrel or a pipe and, I don't know, beat someone over the head with it. Failure to fall in line with these rules would be a misdemeanor, but one punishable by a $10,000 fine and a year in prison. Law enforcement would, of course, be exempt because they're always exempt. This would be federal, state, and local, and, of course, the military. Now, again, with no serial numbers required, and again, I'm not looking to give them ideas here, as I said, there would be no way for the state to roll up and demand to know if it was an illegal gun barrel, because how are they going to know? Also, there's no clarification as to whether this will apply to gun barrels already out in circulation, if people's gun barrels are going to be grandfathered in, and how they would determine after the fact if it was a grandfathered barrel or not. Like, how are they going to know that someone didn't cross over state lines to a more gun-friendly state, buy a barrel and take it home, or have a buddy just mail it to them in a cardboard box? Even under the Vanderstock ruling, I don't think that this could hold muster, because you are essentially holding a pipe in your hands. And while the ATF stretched the definition of frames and receivers a whole lot, I don't know if you could successfully argue that a steel pipe is a gun. Now, this is undeniably a way to try and regulate so-called ghost guns, but those are already federally restricted. And if that regulation works the way that California folks are celebrating, then why do they need this redundant piece of legislation with zero enforcement abilities? All it would do is make it harder for people to replace barrels on already legally owned firearms that, I don't know, could come up with a problem. It is just downright silly, but then again, California isn't exactly known for its flying buttresses of logic. All right, folks, that is it for this video. You guys know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Please do them. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there with those terrible, horrible rogue gun barrels. And happy shooting.